Have you noticed how people act differently when they see you in another light? It's not just in your head when you pursue your purpose when your energy is unique and powerful. It impacts those around you, whether it's because of your unwavering faith, your commitment to your worldview, your honesty, or simply because you are a spiritual person. Others feel it and don't know how to react. This special ability causes people to behave strangely and uncomfortably. They become frustrated, change their attitude, and you wonder, why can't they handle it? It's sad because you follow your own path and live your truth. However, their reaction ends up being confusing and irritating in this video. I'll show you 9 specific behaviors people exhibit when they recognize that you are the chosen one. These are not random actions. They are 9 clear signs of the impact your presence has on them. Follow along as I explore these unsettling attitudes that people adopt and help you understand. What's going on? The first behavior people exhibit when they recognize you as the chosen one is sudden distancing. People start to distance themselves from you. Without a clear reason, they avoid contact and reduce interactions. This happens because your energy so high and centered can be disconcerting to those who aren't used to dealing with such intensity. They perceive that there is something different about you, but they don't know how to handle this difference. This sudden distancing, though, painful, is a reflection of the transformation you're going through as your energy rises and you begin to align more deeply with your purpose. This internal change is reflected externally. The people around you, even if they don't consciously understand, feel this change for many. This can be intimidating or even threatening, as your new vibration forces them to confront aspects of themselves they prefer to ignore. For example, imagine that you have always been part of a group of friends who share interests and activities. Over time. As you become more aligned with your spirituality and purpose, you may notice that these friends start inviting you less to events or communicating more sporadically. What was once a solid friendship now seems to fade. This distancing is usually not motivated by malice but by discomfort. Your presence, now charged with higher energy, makes these people feel uneasy. They may not understand why they feel this way, but they realize that something has changed in you. Something that challenges them to look more deeply into their own lives to avoid this discomfort. Comfort. They prefer to distance themselves in work environments. This can be even more evident if you have started to stand out because of your dedication and vision. You may notice that colleagues who were once friendly begin to distance themselves. Comments that were frequent before become rare, and you may even feel a certain coldness in the air. This happens because your energy is at a level that others cannot comprehend or keep up with. They feel they can no longer connect with you in the same way. Understanding this behavior is crucial so that you don't feel rejected or discouraged. This distancing is actually a sign that you are advancing on your spiritual journey, and that your light is beginning to shine in a way that others notice even if it makes them uncomfortable. The second behavior is offering things for free, while it may seem like kindness. This attitude can become uncomfortable and even embarrassing. Imagine you walk into a coffee shop just to enjoy a quiet coffee, and the barista suddenly says, "This coffee is on the house," or maybe you are in a bookstore choosing a book and the attendant insists on giving you a big discount. Even without you asking, similar situations can occur in different contexts, such as in a clothing store where a salesperson offers you an accessory as a gift, or in a beauty salon, where you receive an unexpected free treatment. These gestures, however well-intentioned, often leave you questioning, why are they doing this for me? What did I do to deserve this? This kind of behavior usually happens because people perceive something special in you. Something difficult to explain. Your presence emanates a unique energy, an aura that attracts people and makes them want to get closer. When people start offering things for free, it is their way of trying to connect with you. Enter your circle, or simply show admiration for your unique place in the world. They realize that you are different, that there is something in you that inspires or fascinates them, and giving something without expecting anything in return is their way of showing this recognition and appreciation. Normally, these displays of kindness are not extended to just anyone, but when you are seen as someone special, people start offering favors, gifts, and invitations to events that are not accessible to everyone. They want to be by your side in important moments or at exclusive events because they know your presence makes a difference. And by being close to you, they hope to absorb some of that special energy. This behavior can grow rapidly, and you may start to feel overwhelmed. Perhaps you just want to be treated simply and respectfully without these gestures of generosity turning into a feeling of debt or obligation. It's common for people to say things like, "Let me pay for that," or invite you to events expecting that in the future you might repay them in some way. Often they say something like, "Remember me when you are even more successful trying to secure a place in your journey of achievements." Although these actions are often well-intentioned, they can also come with expectations. It is crucial that you know how to handle these situations. Accepting these favors can open doors and create opportunities, but it can also bring a feeling that something is owed in return if these offers start to bother you or seem limiting. It is important to set boundaries and politely but firmly refuse when necessary. The most important thing is to stay true to who you are. Don't feel obligated to repay just because someone gave you something. Accept or decline these offers according to what is best for you, without feeling the need to reciprocate. Remember that people are attracted to your strength because they see something valuable in you. Appreciate the recognition and positive attention it brings, but always keep your boundaries clear to protect your comfort, effort, and independence. This way, you can navigate these interactions with confidence and balance, ensuring that your unique qualities are respected and valued without becoming a source of discomfort. The third behavior is jealousy, disguised as support. As you begin to stand out, it's common to notice that some people around you start to show a form of support that at first glance seems genuine, but carries a slight shadow of negativity. They may initially celebrate your achievements, but then introduce small doubts, questioning if you are really prepared for what's next, or suggesting that the path you've chosen might be more challenging than it appears. This kind of behavior can be subtle, almost imperceptible, but the cumulative effect of these interactions can be exhausting. The words may seem full of concern or good advice, but there is a certain weight to them. A veiled attempt to make you rethink your decisions, or even to plant insecurities about what once seemed so clear to you. People like this may suggest that perhaps what you are doing is too risky, or that you should reconsider your choices always with a tone that mixes concern and doubt, instead of elevating and celebrating your victories. This behavior creates an atmosphere of uncertainty, where the support offered comes with a dose of judgment or reservation. This kind of disguised jealousy is harmful because, although not aggressive or overtly negative, it slowly erodes the confidence you have in yourself. It is a form of subtle influence that, if not recognized, can begin to affect your mental and emotional state, making you question your own worth or the decisions that once seemed so firm. Protecting yourself from this kind of influence is crucial to maintaining your progress and peace of mind. Recognizing when support comes with hidden intentions or with an emotional charge that is not yours can help you stay focused on your journey without being diverted by insecurities that do not belong to you. It is important to value true support, the kind that celebrates your achievements without trying to diminish them or insert them into a negative perspective. The fourth behavior that is annoying is people's constant need to be near you when they realize who you really are. As your energy becomes more elevated and positive, you start to attract people in an almost irresistible way. They feel drawn to you as if something in your presence is magnetic. Think of how in biblical accounts people gathered around figures like Moses seeking guidance, or just to be close, believing that their proximity to God could somehow bless or guide them similarly. You may find yourself surrounded by people who, even without realizing it, are drawn to your presence. Imagine situations where you enter a room and, before you know it, people around you start to approach, wanting to talk to you, or simply be near you. Perhaps you are at a social event, or even during a moment of rest, and suddenly you find yourself surrounded by those who seem to seek something in your presence, just as in the case of Elisha, whom people sought for prophecies or divine advice. Those around you may see in you a source of something they themselves do not possess, and try at all costs to stay close to capture some of that energy. This constant need for people to be near can become suffocating. You may start to feel that your personal space is being invaded as if there is no longer a moment of peace. People may try to touch you, get too close, or even follow your steps, believing that by being close, something good will come to them. This can remind you of the case of Bartimaeus, who even blind cried out to Jesus in the crowd, believing that his proximity would bring him healing. These behaviors show that people recognize something special in you, something that makes them want to be close at any cost. However, this constant attention is also a great challenge. You need to learn to balance people's need to connect with you and the need to protect your own space and inner peace. While it is flattering that people feel this attraction to you, it is essential that you establish boundaries so that this proximity does not drain your energy or cause discomfort. The fifth behavior that irritates is the jealousy that can arise in an unexpected and seemingly irrational way when people discover that you are the chosen one. This feeling, which often doesn't make sense, leads the person to reject you as a way to feel superior. This behavior can come from friends, acquaintances, or colleagues. Suddenly, someone who was close begins to act distant and cold, and you find yourself wondering if you did something wrong, when in reality you did nothing. This rejection is usually born from insecurity and the need for the other person to feel better about themselves. It's a confusing and painful behavior. One moment everything seems fine, and the next this person starts treating you as if they are above you, using rejection as a way to assert themselves when you try to understand what's going on. You end up reinforcing their sense of superiority, even if it's only temporary. This situation can be hard to accept, because it's painful to realize that someone can act like this without reason. Similar stories are common in the Bible. Think of the envy that Joseph's brothers felt when they saw that he was favored and had dreams suggesting greatness. They tried to get rid of him not because of any fault of Joseph's, but because they couldn't bear the idea that he was special. Another example is the relationship between Saul and David, where Saul, consumed by jealousy, tried in various ways to harm David, even though David was loyal and dedicated. People who act this way tend to behave like emotional vampires, trying to absorb your energy to compensate for what they feel is lacking in themselves. They see your light, your unique energy, and even though they won't admit it, they recognize that you have something they don't. To deal with this difference, they reject you and try to bring you down so you can be on their level. They want to control you, and when they realize they can't, they try to hurt you emotionally, making you feel down. In the hope of bringing you down, this behavior is typical of people who manipulate others' emotions for their own benefit. They feel a sense of relief when they see you make mistakes, as it helps them mask their own insecurities. However, it's important to remember that this rejection is not about you, but about them and their own internal conflicts. They have difficulty dealing with your success and individuality, and understanding this can help you face these difficult interactions with more tranquility, knowing that this rejection is a reflection of their problems, not a measure of your worth, is crucial to maintaining your inner peace and continuing to move forward with confidence. The sixth, extremely irritating behavior you may face when people realize you are the chosen one is intentional ignorance, unlike rejection. Ignoring you is a subtle but deliberate gesture meant to shake your self-confidence. People do this in a planned way, motivated by self-interest and the desire to feel superior when someone chooses to ignore you. They are trying to diminish your importance so they can feel better. It's a competitive strategy motivated by fear of your success, effort, and light. They choose to act as if you don't exist, avoiding responding to your messages, pretending to be busy, or even ignoring your achievements on social media. This behavior is fueled by envy and the desire to bring you down. An example of this could be a colleague who, despite knowing about the success of your project, never mentions or acknowledges your contribution, even though everyone else is commenting on it. Or perhaps an acquaintance who, despite you sharing a significant achievement like completing a course or launching a new venture, doesn't react or even mention the subject. When you meet this person, may even make a point of avoiding any interaction on the topic, as if deliberately ignoring your accomplishment. This behavior is subtle but extremely harmful. The person ignoring you is creating an image that they are too busy successful, or that they have a full life when in reality they are just trying to diminish you. It's a tactic meant to make you doubt yourself, your achievements, and your worth. What makes this ignorance even more insidious is the fact that it is calculated. You notice that right after you try to contact them, the person makes a point of demonstrating in some way that they are busy or involved in something supposedly more relevant. Completely ignoring your attempts to connect. This kind of action makes their true desire clear to bring you down, so that they themselves can feel superior. It's a toxic motivation that arises from the inability to celebrate others' success without feeling fear or envy. Understanding this behavior is essential to better deal with it. Recognize that these people's ignorance is not a reflection of your worth, but rather of their insecurities and inadequate ACs. By remaining confident and true to your path, you can overcome these petty attempts to dim your light and continue to shine regardless of the negativity around you. The seventh irritating behavior that people demonstrate when they realize you have something special is the constant need to show off their own achievements. You will soon notice that some people feel an impulse to highlight their accomplishments whenever they are near you. It's as if every conversation becomes an opportunity for them to brag about what they have recently achieved. They may mention that they just renovated their house, or that they were invited to an exclusive dinner. They will make a point of talking about their latest luxury purchases, the bonuses they received at work, or the sophisticated trips they are planning. This continuous display can become quite tiresome, especially when you find yourself in the position of having to listen, realizing that their true intention behind these stories is to try to outshine you, even if you try to be genuinely kind and supportive of these people. It's clear that their goal is to compete with you. They seem to want to match your energy or even surpass it, always emphasizing their own achievements. It's as if they believe that by doing so, they can put themselves on the same level as you. What makes this situation even more frustrating is that these people often show little or no interest in your own achievements. When you try to share something positive about your life, they quickly change the subject or act disinterested. They may pretend to be busy with something else or respond apathetically, making it clear that their focus is not on mutual exchange but on monopolizing the conversation with their own achievements. This incessant need to boast is in fact a way of competing with you without openly acknowledging your value. They avoid admitting that they see you as someone special, so they try to divert attention to themselves with their success stories. It's a subtle but persistent form of competition fueled by insecurities and the desire to be seen as equally important or successful. The eighth irritating behavior people may show when they realize you have been chosen is underestimating your abilities or minimizing your achievements. Instead of recognizing the value of what you have accomplished, they may try to downplay its importance. This happens when, upon sharing something significant like a milestone at work or a personal achievement, they respond with comments that devalue your effort, such as attributing your success to luck or saying that anyone could have done the same. These people also tend to redirect the conversation to themselves, trying to take the focus away from your achievement. If you mention a difficult course you completed or a successful project, they quickly change the subject to something they are doing or have already done, trying to dim the shine of your accomplishment. This behavior is frustrating, because instead of celebrating your success, these people try to reduce it to something common or unimportant. It's a subtle way of competing with you without openly admitting that they are competing. They prefer to minimize what you do to feel better about their own abilities when you notice this. It's important not to let these attitudes shake your confidence. Your achievements are valuable, and no matter how others try to downplay them, it doesn't change your merit. Remember that these attitudes reflect more the insecurities of these people than anything related to your own worth. A classic biblical example of someone underestimating another person's abilities occurs in the story of David and Goliath, when David presented himself to face Goliath. Many, including King Saul himself, doubted his ability because of his youth, and inexperience they underestimated David, believing he had no chance against the giant. Even David's brothers tried to dissuade him, saying he was just a shepherd and shouldn't get involved in warriors' affairs, however. David proved them wrong, defeating Goliath with a simple stone, showing that his abilities and faith were underestimated. These examples show how even in situations where people try to minimize or underestimate what someone is capable of doing, it doesn't change the person's destiny or real value, like David and Joseph. It's important to maintain confidence in your own abilities and the path you are on, even when others try to bring you down. Lastly, a frustrating behavior you may face is when people start blaming you for their problems. This can happen unexpectedly, especially from people close to you, like a partner, friend, or family member. When these people face difficulties they can't solve or don't want to take responsibility for, they end up shifting the blame to you. An example would be when someone, after an argument, puts all the responsibility on you, even if the disagreement has nothing to do with your actions, or when a simple suggestion from you is twisted, becoming in their view the cause of all frustration. This behavior usually arises from an inability to deal with their own problems, and since you are a strong presence, you become the easy target for this blame. Shifting, these people may insinuate that you are the reason something went wrong, or that you are responsible for a missed opportunity, even when the true cause is far from being your fault. They avoid admitting that their own mistakes or lack of action are the real culprits. This attitude often comes from feelings of jealousy and insecurity. When they see your success, they feel uncomfortable with their own failures, and by blaming you, they try to undermine your confidence and alleviate their own dissatisfaction. This type of behavior is common in those who struggle with low self-esteem and need to bring others down to feel better. A biblical example is the story of Joseph, whose brothers blamed him for their own feelings of jealousy and resentment, leading them to take drastic measures against him in situations like this. The goal of these people is to avoid facing their own flaws and failures by projecting everything onto you. Therefore, dear friends, being recognized as someone special brings with it a unique set of challenges and unexpected behaviors from those around you. While it is gratifying to be noticed for your distinct energy and purpose, it can also attract envy, competition, and even unjust accusations. The people around you may not know how to handle your presence, and as a result, they react in ways that can be frustrating and disconcerting. It is essential to understand that these reactions usually reflect their insecurities and internal struggles, not something about you. Dealing with these situations with grace and firmness is crucial. Set clear boundaries when necessary and never lose sight of who you are. Embrace the positive, attention, and opportunities that come your way, but don't let others' negativity affect you. Your journey as someone special is full of meaning and power. Continue to radiate your light and let your inner strength guide you through these challenges. Move forward with confidence, knowing that your path has purpose and importance, and that your unique energy is a gift to the world now. To those of you who share this calling, I encourage you to share your stories and experiences in the comments, not just as personal accounts, but as testimonies of the divine work in your lives. Embrace this calling with humility and courage, because you are not just a participant in the divine narrative, but also one of its most important narrators. May your journey be blessed, and may you inspire many others to recognize and embrace the divine gifts in their own lives. If this message touched your heart, and you are ready for the second part, just write part 2